And I'm on my way back from grocery shopping. Is it life casting yet? I don't know. So it's just so easy to do. Phones are just such a modern miracle. And the ability to talk to yourself like this, and you happen to be talking to the world, and anyone who cares to listen is right up in there in that miracle realm. And this time I'll be using these headphones. I just want to see the difference in audio quality if I'm using the phone's built-in microphone versus Apple headphones. And maybe it cuts down the background noise, maybe it doesn't. Loaded up on fresh fruit. I love the fresh fruit and frozen fruit for that matter, and things that go into the blender. You've seen me using the Vitamix blender quite a bit, and I try to make that a daily thing. And it's a great way to eat healthy, a practical alternative to coffee for some of that quick infusion of energy, but from natural sugar sources. Pre-digested, partially, as I point out. That's like the point of blending. You blend so that you don't have to chew as much to access the nutrients within that stuff. Right down to the seeds on the surface of strawberries, which get pulverized, and instead of just passing through your intestines to do what fruit does, deliver seeds to pre-fertilized patches of ground. That's a strategy of fruit. It becomes part of your body as the vitamins and minerals. Spinach. I loved that day that I was wearing my Popeye shirt talking about spinach and the blended drinks, putting the spinach into the blended drinks, because although spinach has not nearly as much iron as it was made out in those early myths where they moved the decimal point, it still is more highly accessible to you in blended form than in leaf form, because leaves are leaves. They're collectors of solar energy, and they don't want to be eaten. They're not fruit. Fruit wants to be eaten and spread the seed. Leaves are kind of like lots of nutrients in there because the chlorophyll and everything, and but they don't want to be eaten. So that's why cooking things like that generally makes the nutrients more accessible. Animals who eat leaves as their, one of their main sources of nutrients have to do a lot of chewing. They spend a lot of their time and, ironically, energy, the very same energy they're trying to get, chewing to get access to the nutrients in the leaves. So when you pop things like spinach in a blender and liquefy it, it's doing a lot to get that stuff into your body, and you feel better. Perhaps you've noticed a difference in me over the past few weeks or months. I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying to keep myself hydrated better. And I don't know, exercise. Exercise is probably the last one up on my list of things I need to be doing better. But you know what? When I go rowing down the Delaware, canoeing down the Delaware, and my kid's getting impatient, and I'm rowing and rowing to speed up, you're going with the current, but against the wind. So it feels like it's taking forever. So I was using a kayak oar on a canoe. And so I was doing that smooth kayak motion for, I don't know, we got on the river about 4. We didn't get off the river until about 6. So that's a good 3 hours. 3 hours of probably rowing for most of that time. Say I rowed for about 2 of those hours pretty steadily. I was not even sore the next day. I was not winded while I was doing it. I paced myself well. I'm either blessed with good genes or I have other things in my routine that must, keep me fit. And I consider myself blessed. And the mountains and the fresh air, the Pennsylvania mountain air has been wonderful. I'm about to go back to the New York City air. Again, I refer you to Bob's Burgers. There was a particular episode, I think it was Tammy who came back from her trip to New York. She knows. At first she was all like, yeah, New York, everything. And then she was like, oh, here's what it was really like. And one of the bullet points she listed is what New York air smells like. So, such is life. Such is life. Humans do nothing if not adapt to new normals. So, I'll calibrate my new normal, hopefully. My relationships can survive the moving back to that area. Poconos has been part of the cure. It shouldn't be too tied to real estate and location. Well, it's not real estate because I rent out here and I rent over there. You know, I'm a Levin. I'm part of the tribe of the Levites. We are the tribe that didn't get land when ancient Israel or Judea or whatever those countries were called back then were divided up over the sons, each getting a kingdom. The Levites didn't. We are the temple technicians. Technology, there you go. It comes back to technology, expert tool users. We weren't the temple priests. Those are the Kohanes or the Cohens or the Khans, Cohens, Kohanes, right? So they're the holy ones who like read from the Torah, blah, 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 blah. But the Levites kind of, kept the oil in the menorahs and the eternal light, and probably cleaned the place and prepped it for people arriving and cleaned it up after. The janitors did temple repair, a little bit of handyman. In Gravity Falls terms, we were Seuss. Jesus. So there you have it. That's the at least part of my lineage. I mean, after the diaspora of the Jews spread all over Europe and the world, all kinds of different lineages get blended in. So it's hardly, fair to elevate one of them over the other. I'm probably just as much Polish and, various forms of Slavic from that region as I am Jewish by genetic lineage. But somehow or other, the Levin name stayed intact, and my tribal affiliation, maybe I'll get genetically tested one day, which puts you into their database of DNA. And if ever the end of days do come and the bones come alive, as not the 5 books of Moses, this is a different one. This is a final days. I don't think is part of Jewish canon. It's added on stuff after the 5 books of Moses, but all this stuff about the bones rolling and armies forming and stuff, it's just cloning from genetic material from the past, right? It's just channeling sci-fi of today in the best terms they had back in, ye olde days of the Old Testament, right? So bones coming alive and stuff literally is just that. So when you give your DNA material, or if your body is exhumed from a grave and the genetic material is recovered, with the gene splicing technologies, or what it is, gene sequencing technologies, I forget what that thing is called, that's revolutionizing, research in all things genetics. But, sequencing is ever more reliable from ever poorer sample material, because if you put enough sample material in, the statistics works in your favor, odds and probability, the amazing amounts of redundancies that are in there, because DNA is at that molecular level, and when you put a sample in there, there's a lot of sample, there's a lot of molecular material, a lot of DNA material in there. So Jurassic Park-like stuff, Absolutely. There is no doubt that we're going to be bringing stuff back. So when you get genetic testing, they don't even have that integrity, that, degradation problem. They got the pure stuff. So be careful. You're going to be part of someone's future clone army, either Google's or the Mormons. Anywho, because, the Mormons are Ancestry.com and Google is 23andMe. So, get your alignments down. Whose clone army do you want to be part of? Hey, having your own planet sounds pretty cool, so sign me up for that. Though I do like Larry Page and Sergey Brin. That's, do no evil. They started out right, which, by the way, is projection, right? So when you say do no evil, they totally knew that they had that. I've been saying it a lot, the Carl Jungian inner shadow, right? That's just a form of projection, saying we know we are as corruptible as the next, tech bro. So let's codify that into who we are. So they had to put that aside because evil is a subjective thing, and a lot of Google employees were like, hey, this, whatever it is, poor treatment of employees is evil, so whatever. And I don't even know if it was poor treatment. People are so fragile. Entitled. You're entitled, people. I'm entitled too, right? That's projection. Whatever you accuse people of, it's what you suspect most about yourself. And hey, I'm a old white guy, right? Most privileged of all. Anyway. It doesn't mean I can't take advantage of the state of the world such as it is. I don't know why everyone isn't, live casting when they have stuff to say. This isn't live casting, live casting. I'm live casting. It's not live. I'm casting how I live. MikeLevin.live, $3 on sale now. So I got that. Maybe I'll do something with it. I don't know. I'm certainly going to pronounce it MikeLevin.live. Mike Levin, live. Mike Levin, live. Because, being live is too much pressure. I don't know if I've got a good broadband connection. So that's me returning from grocery shopping. All right. Anywho, these drives will be fewer and fewer in number because pulling a car in and out of wherever I get a parking spot on Staten Island is going to be miserable, and then you're going to not want to give up the parking spot, or I'm going to have to pay $100 to $250 a month for a place to park the car in a garage. Can you believe that? It's criminal. It's criminal. The whole New York City area now is criminal. That's why everyone's moving out, and now I have to go back in. I have to do the reverse of the trend because can't say it. I can't say it because there's a legal clause in my divorce agreements. Why the situation is the way it is. The truth is, in many times, off the table. The truth will set you free, but using the truth is illegal? The objective truth, 10, 20, 1,000 people looking at it would have the same exact interpretation. That's how it went down. So there is no such thing as objectivity, but it definitely zeroes in on objectivity over time with a kind of calculus. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Hope to share the truth with you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.